This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, she's on the, I'm like, let me make sure everybody's on the email. I always get nervous about that. Okay, and nobody's
here yet.
okay. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Yeah.
I don't have Michael's, but I said
No.
sure.
We can give it a few more minutes for traffic wise and then see if we'll have quorum to officially start or not. Yeah.
Somebody said to me.
Oh.
Photographers.
Oh. We need one more person.
Not me.
We needed another person. It's not that they're just.
I mean, can I tell Jill? I could tell Jill just to call, see if Jill could just call in to be on the
Text her.
phone to listen.
Yeah, that would count.
How are your toes not icicles?
But isn't that cold?
Oh my.
Toes are cold even with socks and shoes on.
Sorry, do you circulatory?
Oh, hey, we have quorum.
Andy's coming.
What?
Come on, you guys.
No.
Nobody. You should all be ashamed of yourself. I'm the old broad and I know Andy's coming.
Who's Nancy?
It's Andy. It's the latest, like, challenge, you know, like the social media thing.
Oh, that's why I don't
So
know,
it's-
because I'm not cool with
Andy's
social
coming.
media.
Everybody's supposed to be like the.
Oh, I saw something about that. Yes, everybody like falls over or something,
Yes.
right? Yes, I saw something about that. Yes.
I don't know what you're
You know the movie Toy Story?
saying. Yeah.
Yes,
So when the
I got it.
toys-
I got it.
Andy's coming.
Got it. Do you want to restart? Should we
No,
try
I
to-
don't. No, because, you know, you're not.
Oh,
How did that get back?
that is really funny though. That.
How did it happen? I know, I wonder. But it was just like, I was like, oh my God, Andy's coming. I got a meeting. I'll do it. See if anybody, see just how much it is. Anybody knows.
We all failed you.
Plus, I needed
Yeah.
I needed to get my mind off the news.
Oh,
Well,
Cheryl,
Cheryl was glad to see you.
yes.
Now I have quorum.
We have quorum. I
She
was just
messaged
about
me.
to
I said,
text
"I'm
Jill.
in Florida."
I was
I
about to
said,
text
"That's
Jill.
fine."
Can you just call in and listen?
But she's
All right.
coming, right?
She's just might be late.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's has a student presentation. Okay, then I can officially say, welcome everyone. And we will officially start the Belchertown Creative Economy Committee meeting on Monday, June 9th at 5:47 p.m. All right. Our first item on the list is our public speak and upcoming events and announcements. Look around. I always look at Molly because you always have the most.
But I feel like now that we're capturing them all,
I know, we do
don't
look at
need
some of them.
to
Yeah.
say everything that's happening.
So I can word that maybe of what's not on the agenda already. Is there anything not on the agenda? That's an event coming up we'd like to capture beforehand.
We're in conversation with Karen about the stone sculpture bench.
Mm.
So we're trying to do the next steps.
Yes.
To make that happen, to expedite.
The plan is that she'll share the designs at the BCC meeting on July 1st. So if anybody wants to join and see what she's thinking, you can do that.
That just sounds so neat. It's going to be actually like carved out of or put together.
I don't know, but
Oh,
she has a
geez.
couple boulders that she likes.
That's so cool.
So there's boulders in wood, all repurposed from the area.
Nice. Do you?
I don't know if you've ever seen when we had the garden tours back for Historic Association, Scott's lawn service, those would be on North Liberty, you know, heading down, it was off there. He has the most amazing stone sculptures and everything like that, like amazing. That I think his wife is an art teacher, but the you know, having the boulders and then the slab to go across is likely it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I do it a lot.
I have a report, the structures at the Lake Wallace Sensory Trail, the bridge and the other boardwalk and the platform are finished.
Yeah.
They're
So
beautiful.
They just need some little finishing work, and that'll be done.
It's so gorgeous. Yeah, they look absolutely beautiful.
It's a very good project for this town.
Yeah, that's very good. That's,
I take no credit, by the way. It was not my vision, it was not my, I was just sort of the guy who processed things.
and I've been encouraging people if there's ever any damage. So I'll have to put another post on Facebook in the blight forum again, just to remind people, like immediately when they see any damage happen. So like get the word out.
Maybe you should also post on the impolite forum. That's where they'd be lurking.
They,
So does the vandalism continue to be a problem?
It has been, yeah, I was sort of shocked, I think Doug and I were both sort of shocked that, that the observation deck that's all the way down by Foley Field behind the backstop, the crew installed the hog panels, and then they had to replace them, and they had to replace them again.
Right.
So they're, the way that they're in is still the same.
Okay.
And whoever is doing the damage, understands how to kick
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, can you bring me my phone?
Actually, I was just out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are all, you know,
Double.
yeah, they're between
Double
two
wood.
boards,
Right.
and they finger themselves up into it and down below.
Yeah.
And there's a bowl.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know,
so
is there a way, yeah, I was gonna
maybe
say.
it is, maybe, Corby did figure out a slightly
Okay.
different way to put it in.
Yeah, I think
Harder
that's pretty
to pick up.
secure. I kept kicking it and nothing.
Yeah,
It's
well,
been dug the whole time.
Vandals here.
yeah, I haven't heard anything more since,
Well,
Okay.
so.
talk with Steve, because to the best of my knowledge, I was present at an EDIC meeting before I was on EDIC.
Yeah.
And the town and EDIC were looking into having having cameras on the state school property
Right.
that are run off cell towers, so you don't need the internet to do it. You know, to doing it, and if you could piggyback and somehow fundraise for it, I know that that's the problem, is always the problem, but
Well, we hope to address that on October 4th. But that's on, it's on
Yeah.
the
I
agenda.
think it didn't fully, we'll see how the time goes. It's on our next meeting, just because we still have time and this meeting was still very full, but it's on there.
Yeah,
Yes.
and somebody had the brilliant idea of just like putting like Dayglow orange on some of them and attaching like cameras that don't work anymore.
right,
Yeah.
I had
That's
that sort of,
That was you.
just use the,
Is there like a way we could do like an ink explosion or something, so that way the next time somebody goes to touch them, they have the evidence on them that they can't get off somehow?
Well, I
I
did put a request out
Yeah.
to the principals and the other
Yeah.
administrators at the high school and the middle school here and also at Pathfinder to just listen,
Yeah.
you know, for the bragging that inevitably happens when kids are happy that they're destroying things. But I haven't gotten it.
and it seemed to be at McPherson, it was just the installation of cameras that stopped it, because nothing stopped it
Yeah.
beforehand, nothing.
Yeah.
So, like I
Yeah,
said, even a fake camera,
Right?
Yeah.
Even just like like some chatter about like, oh, maybe they're trying, maybe the adults are starting to get a little bit closer to who's
Yeah.
actually doing it. could
Yeah.
be enough to
That
just
could
like
help.
dissuade a little bit, so.
I don't know. You just saying fake camera made me think, but I know we're saying that on an open meeting. Hey, we're putting
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
camera.
yeah, they're not watching.
Yeah. But that could be, yeah, if anyone has, I mean, is that an option though to ask if anyone has in the town back stock of old security cameras that might be cellular just for temporary?
Or could you put a
Purposes.
sign that like indicates that there's a camera
Yeah.
watching you?
I think you're supposed to anyways,
So
but
Instead
yeah,
Instead
but
of
you
putting a
could
real
put the
camera,
sign,
just put a
yeah.
sign that looks like you.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah.
trail cameras are
Yes.
everywhere, that's
Yeah.
what
Maybe in
Yeah.
duct tape with
Yeah, with a little, like the
plastic
little bird,
circle.
yeah.
I mean, like, I could MacGyver that.
Okay.
but just, yeah,
To be
anywhere where
continued,
there's
though.
something,
Yeah,
You know, it might
Okay.
even be,
but yeah, so
it might even be worth it to like go to R&R and ask them to find out if any of the hunters have one that's not
Yeah.
working or something, and then you can just say, smile at places that are heavily constructed, like the deck, you know, the
Yeah.
places that are getting knocked down.
Oh, I have one other,
Before you go on, can I
yeah,
ask you a
no,
quick
it's-
question
It's not like Wallace.
about Lake Wall? So to report are we reporting it to you or to the police or who?
Well, I mean, if it goes to me, it'll go to both police and to Doug. So
Okay.
that there's a repository. The reports can go directly to the police.
Okay.
The police can't do anything until there's like
Yeah.
somebody's name to attach to it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's,
Okay.
I just wanted in the minutes for it to say who to report it to.
Right.
So thank you.
yeah, but I attended the Gentle Walkers, event or maybe 2 Wednesdays ago. Was supposed to drizzle, so only 2 people showed up, but we had a lovely walk. They're interested, the senior center is interested in any kind of, connection with, the Lake Wallace Trail that we can, offer anytime.
Great.
And Christopher Heights might also be,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more updates that we'd like to put, upcoming events, before we move on to the agenda? Okay, great. And then we'll make sure we hit dates of what we know is upcoming throughout because we have a good amount of updates on here. So approval of May minutes, it was sent out with the agenda. Are there any changes, any comments on May meeting minutes? All right, if we can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the May meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is Michael available to put in a vote on the line?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
But I want to mention, I forgot to mention I guess this is the place I mentioned it about Dwight Day on June 20.
I'm gonna just finish, I'm just gonna finish the
okay.
vote real quick and then I'll move on to that. All opposed? Hearing none. All abstain? Hearing none. Okay. Passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, none. And we have two absent. All right. Thank you, Michael. Okay. If you want to let us know for Dwight Day.
Yeah, great, sure. In fact, I was just thinking aloud, well, not aloud yet, but I was thinking when I was thinking about the Creative Economy Committee and Dwight Day. It's coming up on June 21st, which is Saturday, 2 weeks from the Saturday we just passed. And this is our second one, so we don't know how it's going to go, but the first one was great. And then I was thinking we do have a big field that we're going to have people park in. And I was just thinking in terms of creative economy, we have pizza from Antonio's, which is a business, and then we have hamburgers from, if they show, Austin, the local Austin farms people, and and then I think Kestrel is going to have a table. Anyway, I was thinking aloud, thinking ahead, maybe the next time, somehow get some of the, I was, some other businesses or some other pop-ups or something going on in the field next to the Dwight Chapel, or I don't know. I was just thinking how I could, or if we keep going, how it could integrate even more into the Creative Economy Committee. So anyway, I hope to see you all there. That's all I have.
Great. Thank
Can
you.
I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Lauren's not here, but I'm wondering if Marissa's installation is still gonna stay on their property, because then if you move.
Ooh, give it more life.
It was born from Dwight Days
Right.
last year.
Right. I know. Sadly, I missed.
So if she
Yeah,
wants to move her botanical garden to your field.
Yeah, sadly, I missed that event, but that's a good question. I could certainly pacify Lauren. Yeah, and Marissa. Did you go, Jen?
Yeah, I
Oh,
went.
good. Did you enjoy it?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
cool.
I know. I'm gonna have to go next year. I sadly I had to go out and see my mother this year, so I couldn't go. But I heard it was well attended,
Molly was
I
there.
went on Sunday. Yeah, it's great.
despite the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday was not
Sunday was
raining.
not raining.
Oh, okay. Good.
Nice. Yeah, and we'll hit on how else we will be there for Creative Economy when we get to the talking about the quilt as well. So we'll definitely be part of it in some fashion.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that idea out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, for next year or something. So, or the year after, whenever we do it again. So, okay, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Project updates. So we have first on the project updates our container mural project and Trash Gala.
So I just ran into Josh Smith.
Yeah.
We did right before this meeting. So he gave a really up to the moment update. They're out there painting right now. And I think they have one more day of painting left. So they're on track and they're the last one. So Kay Allen's is done. Melissa's is done. Theirs is incredibly close. They've been hit with the hardest weather for their portion.
Like the rest of this week doesn't look amazing.
Yeah, they just need to squeeze in one more block of time on a good weather day, and they'll be done. So it's really exciting. They're super close. And then we have the Trash Gala this Friday the 13th, rain date, Saturday the 14th, from 4 to 6 p.m. We have a number of activities lined up. The kind of piece is the trash fashion contest. So I hope that you're all working on crocheting with used plastic bags or patching your clothing or, turning that old shirt into a purse or whatever the thing is, so that you can compete because there are some amazing prizes, including a transfer station permit, many transfer station bags and various sizes, and 3 months of curbside compost pickup from Banana Compost. And we have Belchertown's own Jordan Hall as the MC of the contest. He's a kind of big personality and author and interested in sustainability and place. I think a great fit. We have the tote bags on their way. They feature a picture of each of the containers, and I think we're gonna have something like 100 of them. So, we might have extras. There's gonna be a collage table, a pollinator planting project. They're gonna be tabling from conservation and I believe DPW as well, right, Linda?
Yes, that is correct.
And there might be a couple other things that come together, but this is a good amount of things already. So that's where we're at. I hope you have it on your calendars. I hope you participate. Bring the littles to do the activities.
Setup.
Setup. Well, the transfer station closes at 3. Is that right, Linda? Or
3:30, I think.
okay.
3:15 it closes.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a pretty tight turnaround, but it's really just like throwing out a pallet for Jordan to stand on and a few tables. So it should be pretty.
Do you have the tables? I'm supposed to be doing this collage. So is there a table there?
Right, there was that gonna be coming not from the library? Who had the tables? Someone was talking about there was someone who had all the tables.
If not, I have a table in tent. It's the traveling table in tent. So if you need one.
I gotta remember magazines.
I don't know.
I feel like Jennifer said, oh, so-and-so has all these tables.
Yeah, Jennifer definitely said something about tables.
And now,
I don't know who it
and
is.
so I was like, great, Jennifer has the tables taken care of, but I can't remember
I
who
don't
that
know.
was.
I know we have one table that we bring to events, and we have a couple of other 6-foot. We could, if somebody has a vehicle for them to go into, I could use them, but they won't fit in my car, so I don't know how to get them there.
I have a minivan.
The exhibit hall fair committee, fair people would have access to tons of tables. Used to borrow them from the VFW all the time. The VFW is not that far.
Yeah.
You know, it would just be somebody. I mean, I have a 6-foot folding table. I'm sure a lot of other people do. And I don't know about
Me too.
pop-ups that you need. I got pop-up too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The weather is dependent.
Yeah, and I think for making the rain date call, if it's a light drizzle, we should hold on the day. But if it's just like, the sky opens
It's
up.
supposed to be 74.
Yeah, I haven't checked. I was just gonna say I'll check the
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better on Friday than Saturday at this point, but that could change.
Do you have any idea of how many fashions you're going to get? Or there was no
It's open, so
it's just open.
I
highly
feel like-
encouraged.
I wonder if, I know Lisa's not here right now, but I wonder if anyone has any that we know of that are in the works, if maybe there's like a preview we could do to like show somebody fashioning something.
There
I know
was
of
for
two
many,
in the
many
works.
years.
You know of 2 in the works. I know they might not want to like lose their grand reveal, but
Project Runway.
Project
Yes,
Online.
Regularly.
Totally.
It's regularly
I
done.
just- Yes, like the first episode.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
No,
we
we did.
Belchertown
It
High
was
School.
they
Yeah,
did. Oh, I
Belchertown High
forgot
School
about
has done
that.
Project
They
Runway.
did that.
We did Project
Very
Runway.
long.
Side of
Yeah,
things.
years.
But I wondered, we haven't done Project Runway in a couple of years.
I don't know.
Yeah, if there's any media from that, I mean, because there's tons of content online about like how to do this or how to do
Yeah.
that and DIY ideas for
Yeah.
like crafting.
I would
It's good
get
you know
in
of 2
touch
there so
with,
far.
is
So
it
we at least have 2.
Texera? Is that
Sarah was
I
the
would
one who's
really
run
get-
the Project Runway.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. And maybe there are some people who still have their clothes. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the stuff was just, ask Louise, it was out of this world.
I'll ask Charlotte, because she works with the BCTV as well as at the library, and
Yeah.
I know she's doing one, so
Okay.
I bet she would be willing to
So maybe just
share.
do,
Yeah.
or maybe reply all with the emails and whether
Yeah.
or not you need us to pull together resources on
Yeah,
that.
let
Okay.
me connect with Jennifer and make sure she does that or
Oh,
we have
there's
it locked
All right.
down.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I mean, I have the tent has done at many events, so I'm
Great.
happy to loan it out.
Great, thank you. I can do the same. It sounds like even if the whatever that one was that was talked about doesn't come through, we can collectively
Okay.
bring our tables and pop-ups and we'll be covered. Thank
Awesome.
you all so much. Thank you for raising that.
Excited. All right, any other updates kind of for that coming up?
Please come. Please work on something. Participate.
Yeah. We have a lot of signs for recent things in town we can make outfits out of. Viewfinder update.
Is that me?
And that's,
Yeah.
I can. The workshops were completed, I think, before the last meeting, so I may have reported on that already. We've gotten, I think, 50-something, 55 is what I wanted to say, individual photos submitted. Different bunch. There's only a couple who've done it 2 years in a row, so that's been interesting. The jury selection or judging people panel is getting together on the 16th to go over who the winners are, and then we'll send that to the printers and get that all taken care of and let them know and get that all together. And then the reception is on July 2nd,
Yeah.
1st, 2nd. It's that Tuesday.
It's Tuesday the
That's a
first.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday the 1st. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna take down the old,
Yes,
the existing, put up the viewfinder.
that Monday night, right?
Pieces on Monday night.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Is it,
Um,
what time is it on the 1st?
It's at,
I think it's
I
5
think it's at,
or 5:30. Shoot.
hold on, I know. It's not on my calendar. What is it?
It's the same day as the BCC meeting, so I just want
I think it's,
Calendar says 4 o'clock.
no, it's 5 or 6, but I don't know why it's not on the,
Yeah, I think it's 5. I have it on my calendar as 5.
I believe
to.
you.
I'm gonna write down 5.
You guys interfere with BCC meeting was, Scott Fisher. I guess I have to coordinate that.
There's another event. Ours is every first Tuesday at 7 o'clock, so nobody's scheduled this.
Well, this will be done before.
Yeah, no, the timing's perfect, so.
And last year, I think all but 1 or 2 of the awardees came to the exhibition
Yeah.
opening, and people brought like whole families.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Okay, it's on our calendar as 6.
Okay.
So 6 to 7.
On the library.
On the
calendar.
library calendar.
I'll be thinking of you all, but my toes will be in the sand.
Yeah, I won't be here that week, but
It's a tough week.
Sandy Toes sounds nice.
Because it's the exhibition opening and also an award ceremony.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can confirm, but for right now it's at 6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh dear. What did I do?
Okay. Any help needed on that? Any support? Or is that?
I think it's good to go. I think
Okay.
there's already a group because Louise and
Yep.
Maud and I and maybe Jen, are you coming? You're not coming to the exhibit install. You're not,
I
right?
think it was just the 3 of us.
It was the 3 of
Okay.
us, right? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. That'll be exciting. I can't wait to see all the results. That's 55. That's pretty good.
How long
How
will
did-
they be up?
They'll be up all month
Nice.
of July.
Yeah, there were quite a few adults
Yeah.
who contributed, and then a smaller number of teens and youth.
How did that compare? Do you remember how that compares with last year's submissions?
Last year we had fewer youth and more teens.
Okay.
And this year we have more youth and fewer teens.
Okay. That's exciting though. 55 feels like a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
The small frame is interesting,
Mm.
what people chose to,
Yeah.
record as
Yeah.
small frame. And then some people seem to misidentify something
Yes.
as like,
That's how I felt like
really close up and they called it
a landscape.
Or-
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not sure people got
Yeah.
what that category meant.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a new category this year. Last
Yeah.
year it was like wildlife and landscape, and then
Yeah.
this year's wildlife, landscape, and the small frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes
That's
a lot.
neat, though.
I think, well, Linda, like she had that session. And
Yeah.
I think they called it macro
Okay.
photography during
Yeah.
that a lot, and that was one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. That was.
I went. That's good.
Very nice.
I saw your name.
I submitted
Oh.
photos. I did. Yeah.
Fun.
Sorry.
You're not a jurist. You're not a jurist, are you? Oh, geez.
Oh no.
Well,
You know, I thought about that and I wondered about whether I should hide
Name.
names.
yeah, because
For the
people know
jury.
people.
You
Because
might
people
need
know.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people really know.
I think that
people in
might
town.
make it more.
Um,
yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
something
it's
for.
like the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Or just trust adults
Yeah.
to have a measure of objectivity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Yes.
What's at stake is
It's really.
Right.
certificate.
Yeah.
Do not-
Yeah. I think it would be helpful to have names removed if possible.
It is.
Yeah.
So, as an example, with the judging the photography contest, the fair, and then my other involvement, if you're gonna have just get paper
Yeah.
cuts. I mean, just keep
Yeah.
it that simple, but it really is standard to not have the name visible at all. It just,
Yeah.
at least it's in.
Well, it's exciting though. It's exciting. It's coming to a head. And we'll have results by the next meeting. We'll see it will have happened, and then we'll find out more.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay. For next, wayfinding and branding updates, if any.
Yeah, there's definitely, there's updates on both camps. Do you want to give it any of the branding?
I can try because I missed the planning meeting, but we're planning a webinar for the town employees to learn more about the logo and how to use it. And they're building out a page with guidelines and a form to request access to, prevent everybody from using it and abusing it or changing it in some way, because that's already starting to happen.
It's already out there.
Yeah,
I
everywhere.
was gonna say that. It's like, that's how.
We just passed a poster at Antonio's that had it right on it for the townwide yard sale.
Yeah.
Yes,
saw
that's
that.
the culprit that I'm aware of. But yeah, so I don't know when the webinar is going to be planned for. I forget.
I think it's June 27th.
June 27th in the morning.
Yeah, and but that's geared towards staff.
Yeah.
And it's very much like usage, like this is how to put it into your email, like signature. This is how to use it, like, and there'll be a couple of the things like a PowerPoint presentation. A couple of the templates will be locked and loaded by then.
Okay.
And that people use most frequently. They can be kind of like presented with how to use them at that point. And Katie's already drafted the brand guidelines. They're not completed yet, but it's like,
she's making fast progress. And then
She's-
Kate's getting ready to roll everything out and start using it.
Okay.
and concurrently is the work on digitizing the seal.
Yeah.
And so getting more clarity from Terry, which is fantastic, about kind of having something that has more of an etched look and feel. And it's coming together, and I think Katie's gonna try and show Terry something to look at next week. I think was the last thing she said in that thread. So that's also moving along real quick.
Exciting.
And she's just gonna get Terry's kind of okay before bringing it back to the committee to look at as well. Just to get the kind of double eyes on that.
So the artist for the seal just died on Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be
the
some
woman
commemoration.
who did that.
Wow.
I was kind of hoping she'd hang on for a bit, but the timing of it,
Oh wow.
and I know you've already encountered sensitivity, should
Yeah.
we say, from the public
Yeah.
on that issue, and just timing wise, you
Yeah.
could get even more.
Well, the thing is too, that it's with Terry. Terry is the clerk, and
Yeah.
she is the person who manages that file and its usage. She has to give approval. And so it's not something that's going back to the town. It's also not used in a ton of places.
No.
Now that we have like a logo. So it's only used in a few formal and pre-approved places. And it's just a digitization of something. So that's really just making it so it's usable. Because I mean, you can see here that this isn't really.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
there's
this is
always been an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was an issue like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Of it not, being
Yeah.
able to be
That'll have it good to have it just clear.
recognizable and
Yeah.
everything else, certainly would be. And her son lives right here in town, really active and stuff like that.
Question for the training.
Oh.
So, assuming that's gonna be recorded, And just thinking if the training is technically on like a weekday morning or something, that committee members, volunteers who may also be needing to request usage of this might not be able to attend that.
Well,
Just
that's gonna be
asking
like
what that
another
layer is.
Oh, that, I was
Okay.
just gonna say, this is only.
So just
staff.
asking if it's just
It's just staff to start with.
on-hand staff, and then the next tier will be committees and their usage, okay.
And then
Perfect.
it's like separated still for public facing.
Yeah,
Like, the public is not getting that big document about
And
usage, because we
the
don't want
public
them
is
really
gonna
using it.
use it how they wanna use it though, that's the hard part.
Right, so there's gonna be a
It's on
form
there,
for
yeah.
requesting use and requesting the file, and now the file that is on the website is watermarked.
Okay,
and then
It's
like-
locked?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that, like, there've been some quick response changes that
Okay.
have happened in light
Yeah.
of some of the like memification and unsanctioned use. But I mean, the silver lining is, you know, by people adopting it so quickly is that it's a success.
Yeah.
Like that's a success story when people start going, great, I will use that now.
Awesome.
And then for wayfinding, Stantec is really as soon as the brand material was confirmed and approved by the select board, they hit the ground running, they pushed it into, and they've been following along every iteration of the design as it's developed. They created a matrix of something like 9 different, maybe it was 12, a number of different kind of directions that the planning team, which is more kind of internal stakeholders, kind of winnowed down to a core group, gave feedback, and then it was presented then to the Wayfinding Stakeholder Advisory Body that has had the chance both kind of through a meeting and through an email to give their preferences and feedback, and that feedback is kind of land into the template design, and they're gonna deliver a package either at the end of this month, I think at the end of this month, we're confirming this tomorrow, but the hoped for timeline is by the end of this month, they'll deliver the package that then will be presented to the select board on July 7th for approval, but that will contain the templates, the signage plan. They're going to work with us to prioritize how to phase it, or prioritize for implementation. Work with us on getting it ready for fabrication. There's a few things that they're gonna include in that package, and I don't have it all locked in, but it'll all be together there, and it's moving and grooving right on target, so very excited about that too.
Who are the wayfinding stakeholders?
So it's a collection of businesses, local business owners, also folks from various committees. So there's historical commission, historic bylaw, communications, this committee, a couple of I'm trying to remember all of the groups, but Ag Commission. There's a few different commissions and committees, particularly ones that produce more public-facing kind of work, and like departments, all the department heads, and then local businesses.
Can't wait to see us.
And the chamber as well, which is kind of like an overarching business interest.
It's very exciting. So, and then just so committee understands, I know we're gonna hit some transition pieces, but for wayfinding and branding, that will then kind of, as you're transitioning with it, will then be living with.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And I know we're still kind of in works with some of that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we're kind of finishing up the plan, but Doug and Linda have been integral to this process and carrying it forward into implementation. representation. But look, thankfully, Stan Tech is also, they're gonna offer us recommendations for who we might want to consider fabrication with.
Yeah.
So we should be pretty, in a good path, I think.
Yes. Lisa, checking in with Lisa to see if you are able to do your cultural district manager update. Hi. Oh, we can't hear you yet. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm at a soccer game. Where else would I be? Okay, so we have been very busy with the Radically Rural Quilt. Has this been touched on yet? I don't want to repeat
Nope,
it.
it's next.
It's the beginning.
It's
Okay.
next, so go away. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
not go away, but yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I'll go with it, yeah. So we've had a very dedicated group of volunteers who are really taking, just going with it. So on June 1st, we had a setup at Pride with Sarah and Mel. Mel was doing some granny squares with crocheting, and Sarah had an alternative activity with collage and coloring too, right? And it was very busy, a lot of curiosity surrounding it. And then we had our first setup at the farmers market, which I think we've touched on before, is going to extend through the season, culminating with a display at Exhibit Hall at the fair. So Hope and Marla took the lead on the farmers market, and they were doing finger knitting yesterday, and they had quite a few visitors. And the goal with the finger knitting display is that we are going to, with Kyle's permission, find some fencing around the pickleball courts and the basketball courts to yarn bomb that space and weave the community together in different capacities. Next up, we're going to Trash Gala, and then we'll have an activity at Food Truck Friday, and then at Dwight Day, and then all of it coming together on June 21st with a yarn bombing event at the library. So it's been really exciting. Radically Rural is very excited with everything that has been done. We've kind of blown their minds with the creativity. They did not think that it would be quite as expansive as we've made it. So it's been really exciting. And if you haven't had a chance to read Jill's piece that she wrote, please do so. It is absolutely beautiful. Radically Rural published it on their blog. So I have shared it over quite a few times on the Creative Economy social medias, and it's been shared on the town of Belchertown as well. Moving on from the quilt, Cheryl, Jill, and I have finally set a date to meet and go over a pitch for Yankee Magazine. So that's coming up toward the end of June. The summer events calendar, oh my gosh, of course it's starting to rain. Yeah. June has been posted. July and August are in the works, working on getting a calendar going just for the library summer program. So all of that seems to be well received. And Kate actually just sent me a message that the Quabbin Health added our summer calendar to their newsletter. So that's pretty neat too, that it's being cross-shared through different avenues. I think in May, I touched on my connection with FIFA Boston and trying to get that initiative going. They actually, the day after our meeting, they responded to my initial inquiry and are looking to set up a meeting with us. So we're just working through finding times that will work for everyone, for Belchertown to potentially become a fan zone for FIFA 2026, which would be super cool. Continuing to work with Louise about the vandalism around Lake Wallace, looking into connecting some sort of educational piece with the Lake Wallace Day festivities that will be happening in October. I would love to get a connection to find someone to come out and do some sort of educational experience about why the different features of the trail exist, the history of the trail, the educational purposes, and really try to extend that into the schools so that way the youth community is also connected to the experience and maybe takes a little bit more ownership of the spaces that are so treasured in our town. And that's really been it. It's a lot, but
Yeah, that's
Just that. Yeah.
just that, just a few things going on. So, anything
Jeez.
else?
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
You're welcome. I think that's it
Okay.
from my end.
Enjoy
Any
your practice
questions
then.
or anything? What? Oh no, this
Saying
is
enjoy
the
your
game.
practice.
We're
Oh,
in
it's a full game.
summer soccer now, so you know.
Nice.
Anyway, all right. Anything else from me? Can I help with anything? Anybody need me for anything?
Go team.
Yeah.
Go team.
Go Belchertown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was
still
it. I
listening,
think
but
that
I'm
was
gonna-
it for tonight. Yeah. I think that was it really like big on tonight's agenda.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep listening, but I'm gonna mute myself as I go into soccer mom mode.
I don't hear you yelling.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. No, I'm well behaved.
Oh,
All
Lisa,
right.
question for me real quick. Did you say Dwight Day? You're gonna come up to Dwight Day?
Yes, Jill has something planned for Dwight Day.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like a table, like a, what kind of, you know, what kind of plan she's got?
She had talked about doing something with seeds and talking a bit about the history of Pansy Park. And I'm sorry, not Pansy Park, about the history of the creation of our Belchertown's own variety of pansy and strawberry. So something along the lines with seed. She was working it out. So
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, like
yeah.
a talk. Oh, you're not talking like a quilt. For some reason, I
No,
thought you.
no, she was thinking of just doing the foundation of this whole project is really thinking about, you know, weaving community together, bringing together past history, present, where we're moving forward, and the way that our community kind of flows and ebbs and moves, you know, together. And
Uh-huh.
something that she had, when we were having these conversations about what we're going to do with the quilt, something she had brought up was with Dwight Day, honoring the history, and part of that history is the what it was, our own variety of pansy, and that
Right, right,
Belchertown developed their own strawberry
right.
variety. So,
Sure. Because
but I don't
we're
know
like,
if she's worked out the details yet. She was the lead on the Dwight Day.
oh, okay. Well, then I should email her. Yeah.
Yeah, she would know.
Well, she hasn't reached out to us, and we've sort of like got the program set. So I wanted to know what kind of how she could
Yeah,
fit in.
anything that it would be, it's a pretty low lift. So, oh, sorry, Tyler, my son has the ball. Uh,
All right,
yeah.
I'll reach out to her. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we're doing like regular check-ins too, so I can definitely reach out to her and make sure that you guys connect.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. All right.
Bye, Lisa. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And that is a great segue into Radically Rural Community Quilt Display and Programming Update. So Lisa covered a lot of it. So the first event at Pride was a lot of fun. It went really well. We had a table set up. It was Mel and I. Mel did actually have people come and sit down, start crocheting squares right there, then and there, which is really awesome. We'll still need a lot of squares, so we'll have to do some, I'll work with, I know Lisa's doing some more updating, branding and everything, but we'll definitely need more squares. Mel has a lot. We purchased yarn. So there's a lot of, Mel has a ton of yarn. So if anyone needs yarn, can work with Mel to get some and just bring some cardboard and like make small little skins around cardboard of yarn to take with you to make squares. There's also some extra crochet hooks in the packet. So we have everything to make the squares. On the other table, we just did little it was very windy, so it ended up being very difficult to keep everything on the table, but little collage squares. I can pass around a little picture of them that people passed around this way. So, and if you flip one, there we go. So I'll go that way, and then if you flip one in the other direction. So we just had a bunch of different colors of paper with little 4x4 squares out on the table to make it more kind of, if quilting scares you, or if crocheting scares you, you could then still make a little collage square. And so everybody did their little cutouts and put them on the little squares. We had people of all ages doing them. There were a good amount that took them with them. They didn't want to leave it, so they took them home to remember it. But we were constantly busy the entire event. And then, so what I'm going to do with those, we'll bring those again at food truck. And then anywhere else, if there's anywhere else, I'm going to have it organized in like a little easy to transport bin if they want to go anywhere else. I want to get those framed after so you can see both sides. So that way and then we could have that as just another piece added to this just multifaceted programming. But it was a ton of fun. Lessons were learned, and the next time we'll do that dual piece will be at food truck. So that was the one I was involved with. I didn't make the farmer's market, so whoever was able to make the farmer's market, I know you went there. Did you stop by the tent?
I helped them set the tent
Yeah.
up, and then I left them, they had it under control.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Did anybody reach out to the senior center for their whole cooking?
I believe, and I'll double check, but I believe Brenda Aldrich was working on some of that reach out with Mel to get with the senior center to get some squares, but I'll confirm with that. So we have the rest of this month kind of to pull that together. I know the official Woolies have been contacted, but we're in the follow-up stage now to say, hey, where is everybody on this? So Mel's really taking the lead with the squares. I'm taking the lead with the little collage piece when I can. And then Hope joined in.
Yeah.
If you don't know Hope
Marla.
Gardner, I don't really know Marla, but okay. But they do just active events all the time as well. And making these, I didn't see the final product, but they were busy
like
as
those
well.
Popsicle sticks.
Okay.
Wrapped
That's what they were. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. And I didn't do any
Our excuse for dream catchers.
That's essentially what I picture is the little, I think that's what they look like. Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah. So again.
Hope had like a whole setup. She knew what she was doing.
Oh yeah.
They were good to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, bye.
Yeah. And then we just had the quilt was hanging, and it was great. It was a great conversation piece. A lot of people came up asking about the quilt, and it was a lot of fun. Jake highlighted it. Aloe vera. Yep. Yep. Don't look, a snapshot of the branding ended up on the collage just to say it was part of all of our creative pieces. Don't look, we didn't do it. But yeah, so, and then we have one board that just says all the different places in town just to get people thinking. So it's really fun.
And there's lots of
really
members
awesome.
of that senior group that also bring, like they brought children in. So they're teaching kids how to crochet and do those kinds of things. So
I mean, if there's any capacity for anyone to stop by senior center, that would be great. I know we hit kind of that capacity level of we went, okay, I think everybody took on what they could take on for the next, but I'll reach out again. I'll do a reach out again to the smaller group that kind of was taking pieces to say, hey, did anyone contact?
I'll reach out to the senior center.
And then, because that would be great too. And that could be done during the week or whenever they meet of somebody dropping it off. They could just grab it, talk about it, and they could sit there and make squares and give us the squares after. I have little flyers of the colors and what they mean when needed. It's digital form too when we need to. But it's coming together, and it's really cool to see it, just another piece in action in the community, and it's doing its job, starting conversations, and it's really cool.
So actually, Lisa's mom is part of a group
that
is always looking for people to come and start discussions and give presentations and stuff.
Silver Sisterhood.
Silver Sisterhood.
Oh.
Yeah. So that might be a good.
You know, they're having their Pride event.
I saw that so that might be a good time. So
yeah, they are on
Maybe
Wednesday.
Charlotte wants to bring.
Yeah, Charlotte's done things before. Okay.
Did anybody look into the Quabbin Arts Association and their meetings?
You know, we didn't fully tap into them for this one.
They usually meet the third Thursday of the month. So what would that be, the 19th?
Yeah.
They're a hard bunch.
But-
I reached out to them the morning Scott Fisher's thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
did you push this out to your members so they send out like an emergency?
Yeah, that was-
Like this is happening tonight. I don't know if anybody.
Which I heard was amazing. Yeah. And the art is still up and it's beautiful.
Sorry.
Not to get off track, but
That's
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so I've got reconnect with the senior center down on our to-dos. I think our actual actively programming, the people who were able to are at capacity for that for sure, for the remaining. But if there's any other capacity that comes up, it's here till the 23rd or 1st. Dwight Day, I think, is its last possible real appearance.
Unless it goes to the farm.
And then we're talking about including a couple of the little knitted squares and a couple of the collage boards to pass on and a couple flowers to pass on to the next community. With Jill's beauty. Yeah, so Jill's letter is here. It's very long and would not do it justice. Jill is the only person that should read it. But it's here, it's printed. If you'd like to take a copy, Jill said, please, it's out there to share. It is so beautifully written and just perfectly captures what everyone is doing.
And I've
Yeah.
seen it in a couple places
Yes,
already.
it's beautiful.
So-
Like, it is just so beautiful. I wish Jill was here to be like, it's just so beautiful again.
It's just that beautiful.
It is. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, I highly recommend reading it and keep it somewhere. Like, I'm keeping this somewhere. So anytime I feel down or frustrated with all this work, I'm just going to like pull it out and just read it. And it's now going to be the emotional support, just
Your emotional support.
letter. Yes,
Essay.
it is. The emotional support essay. 'Cause it's that beautiful.
Well, and as someone who grew up in a relatively urban area with a lot of sassy people in New York, there was always some component of like just how committed people are to Belchertown, but I was like, I'm not sure where this comes from.
Yeah.
It just was, bing.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And also, sorry, not to belabor the point, but this last week's issue of the Sentinel was so chock full of all of this. Like, it was amazing. Like, that issue of the Sentinel had like everything in it.
Oh.
Yay.
We are all doing amazing work and everyone is amazing. So, okay. Anything else on kind of, I know that was like a very fast kind of update. Is there anything else on the quilt for updates? There was talk of how can we hang it in the library. I think the only way we could is if we take one of the quilt hangers, we could possibly just stand that in front of the fireplace, but I don't want to cause any trip hazards or anything. So I can always
So
stop
they
by.
hung it on the easel
Okay.
at the farmer's market.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And those are hopes. I have another one in my car.
The easel?
Yes.
No, she borrowed it from us.
Oh, she borrowed it from you?
Yeah.
Oh, I have hopes. Okay, so now that's why. There we go. Okay.
So I can put it up on that.
Okay.
I think Marla, I thought it was Hope, but I wasn't there when it got dropped off, so I don't know exactly who, but it's back at the library.
Okay. All right.
But we have Lafayette on display right now.
Yes, which is, yes. All right. Committee charge has been approved by the select board. We went through, so we officially have a new committee charge. I just got a reminder email from Melissa today and I will send it tomorrow. So I just had to change 2 grammatical errors on it. So it was approved pending those grammatical errors get changed, which I will send that in and we will have the official new committee charge up on the website. So the one that we all worked so hard on went through, the board said everything but positive feedback from the board. It was very positive meeting and it helped better explain and helped them better understand what we're doing here. Yeah. And one-stop updates.
A frantic display of concentrated energy. Our grant coordinator, Allison, submitted 7 applications on Wednesday. One of them was for a comprehensive zoning revision, review and
Excuse me, is this the Concom?
Oh, no.
No.
I think that might be in the next room over.
Yeah, it could be in the big,
Sorry.
Yeah, yep.
So now we'll just twiddle our thumbs and wait until October or whenever they announce them.
Okay.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of all seven?
There are a couple.
I might be able to
that are
rattle
not
them
in my
off.
head right now.
There's
Sports Haven,
Tagil,
Tagil,
Agile
Sports Haven, MDI.
Yeah, which was, ours was the downtown businesses marketing plan.
Yeah.
That would include doing some market research as a foundation for building out the marketing plan.
MassWorks.
Yeah,
Mass-
MassWorks for
Six.
water
6 and 8.
And then 6 and 8 was the other one, Berkshire.
Oh, we did 2 different?
No,
Okay.
only one of those is MassWorks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, MassWorks, zoning.
Zoning.
And yours was the community plan one.
Community planning and, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to put this list in the minute.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Seven.
7, we can
Seven
put
ones.
7, yeah,
Okay.
it's not, yes. Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, we need to go over it again.
The two that really touch us most kind of directly
Yeah.
are the one that Doug wrote.
Okay, I got that one.
Comprehensive zoning.
Yeah.
Or bylaw.
Which will include signage and artisanship.
Okay,
It'll
alright.
include our overall zoning.
And then the other one was
What is
the
this?
Marketing plan.
downtown business marketing.
Okay. Yeah, and that one we are going to own. So that marketing, that downtown marketing study will own with partnerships with the town. But that one really will be a big driver of looking and working with the MDI consultant and everything, and really drive that piece working with the town. Yeah, so that would be a really great one to get.
And as we're talking about grants too, I want to mention, I should have mentioned this when we were talking about wayfinding as well, is that the Mass Office of Travel and Tourism recently opened their Destination Development Grant Program, for which we're looking at some component of wayfinding to kind of fund the rest of that, particularly within the center of town, as a nascent perhaps, but a hub nonetheless. And not nascent, there's Belchertown Fair has been going on for how long? But there's all sorts of things and it's growing, I guess is more to the point. Growing hub. Town center.
And I mean, with that is we'll be working with, we could even include some historical context because Belchertown was a tourist destination at one point in time in its founding. We were a tourist destination as part of our development before we were a settled kind of community. So,
In fact, if you have any materials, Michael, I'm looking at you. If you have any materials, any kind of historical archival materials that particularly point to Belchertown as a tourist destination for Pansy Park, Dwight, yeah, please send them over because I think we don't know quite yet. We haven't dug too deeply into the application materials where we could submit it, but it would be really great context to be able to add in there and maybe even as like an upload for more.
I have one. Michael, have you seen, I know the Historical Association, Cliff got an intern over there who's been working on digitizing the ephemera, the paper, really cataloging everything.
Yes, Allegra.
Yeah, Allegra, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm aware of Allegra digitizing well, I think they're going through revolutionary period things right now. And digitizing some of the collection that the Stonehouse Museum has in that era.
Yeah, I mean, all of their stuff can be found, but not as easily as the stuff that they've been working on, and creating a new paths. I mean, they have tons of photos because I had borrowed them all at one point or another of the Highland Hotel, of the Park View, and the third one, it'll come to me, but
they've got some amazing, we did one year for the fair, the exhibit hall, we used to, I know a lot about this particular subject because when we used to have the fair committee and the exhibit hall committee, we added an educational component every year, or like the theme was new. That's what started the themes, was that. And one year it was Belchertown's Age of Elegance. That was the name. And even as you walked into the rec hall, that big bulletin board and stuff that was there, we set up like these basically shadow boxes, but we made it fascinating for people because we made it that you actually had to look through it, you know, and they could look through and see the hotels, and we have birds and all these educational kind of things throughout. And it was very, very well received, so that we're surprised about the tourist aspect of it.
Yeah.
Came here for our wonderful air.
Yeah. I mean, I do know that the early 20th century really, in the late 19th century, really took off the Lakes District, what were once called the Bridgman Ponds,
Right.
along with the coming of the railroad. So that would have been, 1885, when you had two railroads coming through that northern end. That, yes, it was absolutely a destination, and there's a vast collection of postcards
Yep.
you can find on the internet
Okay.
of, the lakes primarily. I think you can find all kinds of scenes around Belchertown, but certainly the lakes region as a destination, a kind of vacation. I heard somebody use the word vacation or camping in nature, of course, with Holland Glen and hiking, and at any rate, it, there's a lot of material about that. Yeah, depending on uh, how you go over to the Stonehouse Museum and which key terms you use to find the folder you want.
Right.
You could write you could certainly write an essay on it. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just found that it
Okay.
came out the Stonehouse Museum.
Oh, nice.
Is 1997.
Okay.
Wow.
The age
old.
of Alpine.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're just, no, Cheryl, you're just that much more.
What? Oh, I missed that. What was that about?
We've got wonderful photos, which could be relative to you, of all of the people in this way, their finery coming up from the railroad station, which is down, where the furniture store is now. I almost said Home Fabric Mills.
Oh, yeah. You have that photo, or the Stonehouse has it?
I have a copy. I have copies of it, but it is at the Stonehouse.
Okay. Yeah.
But I even have an artist rendering that did not make it into the coloring book. It came from one of the Sakiewicz's, not Joan, but one of her daughters drew it afterwards. But it's we didn't make the cut into the coloring book. But I still own all of the original artwork for that coloring book. I have to give it to somebody.
Let's do something.
Great.
Put it on the next list.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We'll reach out if we have more questions.
Sounds like perfect grant writing
Coming to
material.
the center of town.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
where everybody's coming.
Yep.
All
And that's,
beautifully
so
Victorian.
this will be great grant writing material and help kind of moving. And it's kind of reconfirming kind of the positive of the direction that's being thought of really kind of focusing on the center of town, focusing on the town common, and possibly historic aspect of our tourism.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The one I don't want to talk about today is the next agenda item. We don't have to, if I skip it, it won't happen, right? So we have transition of Creative Economy Coordinator on the role kind of on the agenda. For those that don't know, this is Maud's last official meeting with us. Boo. We're not cheering for that. So, we're talking about it.
Yeah,
We're
so-
organizing it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been in conversation with Doug and Jen and Steve and Allison, like a lot of folks inside here. And we met Lisa, Sarah, Jen and I before this meeting to talk some more about some of these other so we've talked about projects and then also the kind of side work, as well as other things, and distribution, also what things are just kind of done, what things continue on, who's on first, and then what might just kind of leave the deck, as well. And I think that's.
Yeah, it's all that can be said. But I know I want to say thank you, like, because this wouldn't exist without you. It wouldn't. I mean, you really were the catalyst to take all of this work and thoughts and pieces and make them reality and make them bigger and better than we ever could have even thought.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And that was only possible because of you all in this room doing incredible work and doing it for a while and setting the stage and doing setting up all these organizations that have been doing it. So really, my work has been about kind of knitting together things that already existed. So it hasn't been like transforming anything, just kind of bringing some stuff together, I would say. So
I think there are some people in the room who would beg to differ that your work is transformative.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It has been such a pleasure and an honor working with you all. I really, it's been a little over 2 years now in this post. It doesn't feel like, it feels like it was just yesterday, but thank you all. It's been really wonderful to meet and then develop these relationships and partnerships, to work on projects together, one after the other, and just develop and do this work. I leave feeling like no problem in some regards, because I know you all have been doing so much and will continue to carry all this forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Was there any one thing that you found over the last 2 years that was delightfully surprising?
Wow, so many.
Not just surprises.
Delightfully surprising.
Pass. No, there have been lots of things that have been really lovely. I think, just finding some of these kinds of, getting to know Lake Wallace and visit and revisit and see how, just in the last 2 years and change that I've been here, so much has happened in that space. Mm-hmm. So, I'm getting to that point now of kind of looking back and having that kind of time-lapse view of what the last 2 years have been. And it seems like there's been a lot happening. I mean, there's more restaurants, like Lake Wallace, there's been so many changes, more rec sites have been developed. So much.
The only thing we really require of you on an ongoing basis is that you bring people over here to eat in our restaurants.
Yeah. Yes.
But we have several weeks left. Yeah. There's still plenty that we're doing and continuing to, make sure that it's as seamless as possible.
By the next meeting, I'll have it on kind of our list. The next meeting is, because we're going to continue to have some strategy meetings throughout the month. I'll be meeting with Doug, Steve, Lisa is a core piece of this. So then we as a committee can really say, okay, what projects are we owning? What projects are we keeping as ownership? What projects make sense with others with ownership? Because Monta has done so much with so many areas. So I'll have that on our next agenda, especially since a few of these bigger pieces up here will have kind of moved off the board by the next agenda. So that way we can really think critically of it. And one of the pieces I want to think about while we go through that process is picturing us not in these roles, just as we're transitioning someone who is so just intertwined with all of this, as we're building this, to picture us not sitting here, to set it up so this committee kind of is sustainable. Yeah. So I'll definitely have that moving in as we move through this transition. But I know.
I will likely miss, not likely, I'm sure I'll miss the next meeting, but can that be, even if you set out like a homework, like a partial thing before you have the whole agenda prepared, just so that
I will admit I was very bad this month because I was in crazy grant writing. I will get the request for agenda items and get all of that info out much sooner this time. Yeah,
Okay, but
so we
even
can
just
have
that
the working,
piece,
working
that we could,
piece. Yeah,
you know,
and I will put that on my big star Sarah send. I'll send out some as we're coming up with these divisional topics. We can send it out, and as long as we are not deliberating, it's okay to have that so you can work on that separately, and then we deliberate during this. We just can't all reply on those emails to each other for those. Yeah, but if there's one-on-one questions, we can have those conversations, and then you can see the working list to then be able to work on that to bring here so we can keep it very productive with that. Yeah, so as we build that, we'll share it openly and yeah. But yes. Yeah, I just can't even like 2 years ago. I can't, yeah. Yes. Yeah. I put chamber partnership next steps just because we had that as a carryover. I didn't know if there was anything
Yeah.
to kind of continue with that.
So the members, the new members are not all locked in yet, but we'll do some kind of closeout, something for the cohort of 10 new members. We also received support from the chamber on our downtown marketing application. Still, I'm planning to reach out to Jacob and ask about having a meeting just to go over these last few things as I outro, to make sure that we've got all these things locked in. The farm guide being, for instance, another one.
Oh, yeah. I'll add that to the list right there.
But that's also something with the Ag Commission,
Yeah.
and Tom Shattuck has already stepped forward to say that he'd be happy. So some of this stuff has been in prep for months now, just finding close to it.
So I reached out to Jacob about the golf event they're doing next month. And like what other potential partnerships and highlights of Belchertown businesses that we can, or whatever we can bring in. So he said, great. And then I nudged him again today. So now I have to get a meeting together with him and Felina and somebody else about all of that. So if anybody else wants to sit in on that conversation.
Well, this is about like next things. I'd be happy to join that.
Yeah, so he's got Felina and Sean Ferry. They're leading the golf tournament planning, but like I thought, like even if they were talking about the education foundation, and I said maybe like you want to talk with like the farmers market who has like access to all the local entrepreneurial businesses that are working in town, maybe as a thought.
He's away all next week, just so you know, if you're trying to get a meeting really soon. Yeah.
So for you.
I just want to say for, in the minutes and stuff from our last thing, did anybody give any thought to or look at the defining of farm stand, artisan, shed, shack?
That was my other apology to you. I did not get a capacity, and I know I said I would, and I did not have the capacity through this last month. But it is on my working list, and I want to bring that back on because this week I knew was heavy. I want to bring that back on to bring into the next standing because we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 items coming off of our standing list. So I want to put that as part of our next standing list. Yeah.
Just in my opinion, just mine alone, this seems to be something that we can positively do, move forward to. We don't have to wait for October. You know, we can get something, make a recommendation to the selectmen to somehow afford people the opportunity to do something on their own that we are as yet unable to do in a building like we had hoped
like Berkshire or something,
Yeah.
to just get everybody going and allow
Yes.
things, and to get a handle on the stuff that's just popping up without us.
Yeah.
That's actually what's scaring me the most is,
Yeah.
the stuff that's appearing,
Yeah.
like.
And I was thinking about that too, kind of as our next meeting agenda. Right. Let me say, do we have anything else on the chamber partnership right now? Okay. So next agenda kind of standing orders. Wondering how we can approach those that do have them just popping up in a manner to make sure that what we do doesn't necessarily negatively impact, but works with and makes it so it meets the town's regulations, and ensuring essentially, like, when we redo this, I don't want anyone to all of a sudden have to shut down in a way. If that's the way I
think
explain
there's
it.
only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That is not.
That would be out of, and then figuring out, okay, so
That's not.
if somebody's out of compliance, how then, working with this, would they then be in compliance? Okay. But yes, I have that on the list as bringing into standing agenda orders that we can then start working on as a new working group. Yeah.
And it, occurs to me, I wanted to talk to you about this too, with when you're starting even thinking about these grants and working, my gig is to always work with another group. And community options is really moving towards just having artisans in there, and so it's staffed. They're in there, they got the right, they have everything in there and they're doing things. I keep saying to myself, what if we offered them another little, just to scale up a little bit.
If you want to coordinate a meeting, let's sit down.
With Ann.
I have a previous, I have a previous relationship with Ann from BCA work, from 6 Berkshire.
So exactly.
It's been a couple of years, but we were building a relationship with Ann and Community Options through all that work.
I mean, they're getting more and more in there, and that's what they hope to do.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be a great place, and Ann has an art background.
She does.
Yeah. I think that would be a good.
Totally committed.
Yeah.
To the staff, but the other thing that none of us have is staff.
No, but this could be a good, I think this would be a really good
I think it would be a great
option
partnership
to talk to
too.
Brenda and Ann and whoever else would need to.
So,
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay. Yeah, I had, actually, the Potter who was over there and myself had a little meeting with Ann by chance. So it was,
Okay. All right. Next meeting agenda requests. I know I have fall event at Lake Wallace. We'll finally be able to come onto the list. October 4th was the official date decided on for this. So at the last recreation meeting or at the last mix of that recreation, and then there was a
library and
a combined Lake Wallace Day meeting, unofficial. So October 4th, Kyle already put in the calendar that day will be the day that is set aside. So now it's just figuring out the programming, and the collaboration of everyone. Pocket Park should be done. We'll be texting Maud, you better be here on October 4th.
And then the stone sculpture bench should be done. And Kyle also mentioned that they got 2 dog waste containers. So we wanted to add those to the list of things that we dedicated.
That's celebrating.
Yeah, that is definitely worth celebrating. And the sculpture.
Yep.
The heron.
Yeah, the heron should be done.
With Don? Does he know about this date, or should I? He's getting funded through the BCC, so I'm happy to loop him in. But
I haven't been.
I don't know if they talked about it at the rec committee. I think they did talk about it because Kyle had to confirm he's on the rec committee. So if he was there, he should, but I would just double check. Yeah. So the looping in, like this just happened. So the looping in stage will now start to grow
Okay.
Yeah.
Just hold October 4th. We don't
Hold
know exactly
October
time.
4th.
We don't know exactly.
Yeah, right now
That's
it's too
good.
early to even do a save the date. There's, I
Yeah.
think Jennifer is leading, trying to find somebody to help make a little logo.
Logo
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Brian's working on like just having like a little blurb
Yeah.
that we can share.
AKA Lisa's working on a little blurb to share.
And we're calling it Lake Wallace Day.
Lake
Something.
Wallace Fall Festival.
There it is. Okay.
Festival.
Yeah, so I'll bless
Lake
you.
Wallace Fall
There'll
Festival.
be a 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Maybe a 10. We're seeing.
Yeah, a 1K all abilities
Yep.
walk.
Yes. Yeah, we have to think. Yeah.
And yeah,
Dog, yeah.
we talked about a variety of different things, including I'm in touch with people at the high school, the advisors at the high school, to see if one of the clubs wants to run an obstacle course for kids. And there's
Oh,
so
that'd be
many,
cool.
so many different ideas.
Yeah.
I was
Jennifer wants people up on the trail drumming for
Yeah.
the runners.
Which they did at the Girls on the Run event. They had a drum corps at the Girls on the Run event, and it was so much fun. You got up there and you heard them like, and you just went, yeah.
I don't know if you have interest, but I was thinking about, the rock bench and the other thing, we were talking about other things, and that thing I did for the art, when we had the art night all around town, and I maxed out on my capacity at that event. So many people signed up, and you could sign up standing outside the door and then walk in. So I was like totally not prepared with the number of canvases and everything I had. But I was thinking about that the rock bench, Belchertown Rocks, Family Rocks. I mean, rocks is kind of my mode. That's what I use in all my artwork. And I would be happy to do like minimizing it, not doing what I did with all the kids. I think I would more just say, I don't know if you guys have seen them, like the families that I make with the rocks.
Right.
And we can do family rocks, Belchertown Rocks, whatever you
Yeah,
want,
cool.
and have a little event there that would be actually okay to do outside. I had a concern about doing it inside because the adhesive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one of the ideas, is just to
Yeah.
invite people to booth,
Yeah.
like, and just have a whole booth, booth center.
To just,
So
I think the
Lots.
potential for there to be some really serious, like, funds that get raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it'd be big time.
And
I'll
somebody
try to-
wants to
try
get
get Andrew up here to,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
could be great,
Would be-
because he's the guy who designed the
Yeah.
trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he can talk about the
Do the
features and
Yeah.
the thinking.
Yeah.
And we'll have to think of I don't even want to say rain date, but that was one thing I thought about afterwards is we'll have to think about something like that, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think with the number of people that we're hoping to get involved, that
it's
scheduling
that like,
rain date,
oof, it might be. But, yeah,
there-
so
there will be canopies.
rain or shine works too.
Yep.
And I know there's a sponsor letter being created right now. So yeah,
All of them.
be all the fun things, and Lake Wallace is going to get its star that it deserves, and will get celebrated every year. And yeah, yes, we're trying to map out. We did one test run, and we're going to do another test run of trying to map out. It's surprisingly difficult to get without having to go back, because the trick is you can't backtrack too many times because it's all single track pretty much. So like you can, but we have to figure out capacity. But we're trying to map out. I think we've got it down. We've got to test it out this week to see a 5K loop and then get it actually mapped. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so next we'll have it officially on as a new working event of how we can assist and how we can support that. And again, it's going to be a huge collaborative event with all of our different departments, which is really awesome. Yeah, it's so exciting. Yes. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Other agenda requests we want to throw on right now. So far I have the defining artisan shed. Kind of, that'll be our like on paper working piece. This will be our event piece. Oh, creative economy swag. That was something I wrote down. I want to put that on our list of seeing how we can start the conversation of, if any, how that can be looked at. I know we don't technically have funding, but how can we have that conversation of what would we want, what would be helpful, and if so, how much would that cost, and how can we approach that?
Yeah. And then I think the only other last piece is the nonprofit BCA will officially be closed in June. So it's 100% closing. All documentation will be closed out. There is some funds still to be supporting public art. So I'll be meeting with Steve and Jen and any other town official needed this month to talk about that leftover funding and how it will go. I have some pieces and priorities that have been given from board members to say, okay, where will this funding go? Where will these projects go? So that'll be something eventually I'll be bringing to this group too, along with other groups will be approached as part of that, kind of phasing out of that, but some funding for community programming will come out of that. Not a ton, but some. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I think our new logo makes like bumper sticker.
Yeah. Oh, that is a perfect. I like magnetic bumper stickers. I love magnetic. BCC has magnetic ones, and they're really nice. Yeah,
It'd be great to sell that.
Oh yeah.
I like the magnetic ones.
Hippie stuff.
But it did. I was standing at the Pride thing, and I went, "We have no swag. We have nothing. Creative Economy has nothing to show. We looked like we were BCC, which is great." I was like, we have nothing to show. We're Creative Economy. Like, we're someone too. Yeah. Okay. If there's no other comments, agenda asks, the next meeting date is 7/14 at 5:45 p.m. in this location. And we are adjourning at, what are we at? 7:15 p.m. Motion. Can I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Michael? Aye. Okay, all opposed? None. 2 absent. Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
Okay. Hey, we did pretty good this week. 7:15.
That's a big agenda.
Whew.
See you at Dwight Day.
Yay, Dwight Day. Bye, Michael. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, do you want to can you reach the button over there? I know I'll have to shift it over here.
Can anybody think of another organization other than the Stonehouse that